Hi friends! So, we are going to go through talking about seasons and solstices and equinoxes today. Excuse any background noise. My fan was caught in the microphone last time. I'm trying to find a fix for that. But if you hear a little background noise, that's it. Okay, seasons, solstices, and equinoxes. Following right off of the fact that we talked about rotation and revolution. Okay, so we're going to review about the axis and the tilt and all that, and day and night, like we just talked about. And remember, an axis is that line, in the case of the Earth, it's imaginary, that the Earth is spinning around. Okay, it's rotating on the axis, but it revolves around the sun. Okay, that 24-hour day is the rotation. That 365-day year is the revolution on an orbit around the sun. The orbit is an ellipse, not a circle. You know this. You should be very familiar by now. Okay, how many days for one revolution? You know this. It takes you 365 days, and if you're being really smart about it, about a quarter of a day as well. That's how we get a leap year. Okay, so the seasons are caused by the tilt and the revolution together, because depending on how you're tilted, the rays from the sun are more hitting you directly or with a little bit less. Okay, so this is generally depending on the north or the south hemisphere. We live in the north hemisphere in North America. Okay, so yes, the tilt and the revolution together cause the seasons. By the way, I don't know if I said it. This one is also like a podcast for this week. So yes, you do not see me on camera, and that's normal. Okay, so make sure, here we have new information. You need to have your note sheet for this. Make sure you have that note sheet and that you are filling it out. Okay? So you should be able to match up the things that are coming onto the screen now to fill out that note sheet. Okay? Seasons are caused by a combination of things, not by how close the Earth is to the sun. So again, in the part where we're physically the closest, it's actually winter for us. So that's not why we are having the seasons. Because in terms of how big the sun is and how far we are, that's really not the thing, as how close or far we are. It's about that tilt, because it's all about that radiation and how that radiation is hitting us, right? So different parts, like the southern hemisphere is kind of tilted away at the time that we are tilted towards it, okay? So let's talk about a solstice. Solstices, there's two of them, where the sun is going to be right over our heads. We have the summer solstice, which is the beginning of summer in the northern hemisphere. So technically, when we say it's technically summer. And the sun is the highest it can ever be. It's the longest day of the year. And the winter solstice is the opposite. The sun's the lowest it will ever be, and it's the shortest day of the year. So if you know and you think about how days get longer and longer as we go farther into the summer, and days get shorter and shorter in the winter. So that's what we're talking about here. The solstices are kind of the peak and the valley of that. Okay, so the hemisphere that receives more of the sun's rays will be warmer, and vice versa. So say vice versa, meaning the one that gets less will be colder. Okay, so which solstice has the longest day of the year? Which one is a long, which one is a short one? Let's go back. Summer solstice has the longest day. Winter solstice has the shortest day. Think of those long summer days where we are having, the sun is still up even when it's almost bedtime. Okay, now let's talk about an equinox. Equa, like equal. Okay, when the sun is right over the equator and it shines on half the earth equally. So this is the days that are exactly half and half. 12 hours of light, 12 hours of dark. Equa for equal, because it's 12 and 12, because it's half and half. Okay, these are the equinox. Okay, there's two of these. Vernal, which is spring, and autumnal, which is fall. Okay, so the autumnal one tells us the beginning of fall in the northern hemisphere, and there's more night than day in the fall. And the vernal, or the spring, marks the beginning of spring, and the hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, so it's starting to get warmer. So you notice there's one special day per season. right? We have a fall equinox, a winter solstice, a spring equinox, and a summer solstice. So there's a special day for each season. Okay, so is a vernal equinox the first day of fall? Look at your notes. No, it was the first day of spring. Okay? All right, we're going to come back to other videos later. All right, that's all for now. Make sure that you filled out your note sheet and make sure that it gets safely into your binder. Have a great day.